Blog Talk Radio.
And good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on King Jordan Radio. It is October 13th, 2013, and here tonight, it's the one-year anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the program Mrs. Pearl Jr. Okay, Pearl is not called in yet. So in the meantime, what I like to do is play one of her videos. Okay, take a listen to this.
Elbow Grease Productions, in association with MichaelJacksonInsider.com, presents Hi, this is Pearl Jr. with MichaelJacksonInsider.com, yet again bringing another episode in the life and or death of Michael Joe Jackson. Now, this is a clue that's been hanging around for a while, but finally it has made full circle, and now it makes complete, thorough sense. Okay, we know about Michael and Peter Pan, P-Y-T. You guys know that I believe that Michael Jackson is really Peter Pan, P-Y-T, on Twitter and on Facebook. Now, he first called me January 15th, 2012. And of course, we have remained friends all of this time and probably have talked on the phone about 1,000 hours or so. January 15th is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and a national holiday at that. And remember this?
In what will go down in history as the greatest demonstrations for freedom in the history of our nation.
Well, that came out right when they were doing the promos right after the death announcement for the movie This Is It. Then on March 1st, which is me and Michael's 7-year anniversary in 2012, it was the day I first walked into the 2005 court case with the People versus Michael Joe Jackson. And I was talking to Peter about it. And then Jonathan Muffet, who was Michael Jackson's drummer since the 1970s, posts the cartoon, A Rare Pearl, on my Facebook page, in which it says,
Punch and Judy. Oh, Pearly, 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 Pearly. I've got something for you. Yes, my love. Oh, flowers. Get them to me at once.
which is my real full name. Now, moving right along. Then, right around the time Bad 25 came out, was the album of unreleased songs that Michael did when he was with his brothers, the Jackson 5. And one of the songs was called Mama's Pearl, coincidentally. And of course, as a little girl, I was very excited about that. Now, with that song came the unreleased album called Come and Get It, The Rare Pearls, which matches the cartoon of Mama's Pearl with the Jackson 5, and it's called A Rare Pearl. You guys following me so far? Okay. Then we proceed to the release date, which was originally August 28th, which is one day before Michael Jackson's birthday. Then it was decided that it would be released the same day as Bad 25. I think that was Michael telling us he was involved. Now it gets even better. Before the Rare Pearl album came out, Peter had told me, Pearl, I want you to get the album. I want you to tell me what you think. And I was thinking, he never asked me to buy any of Michael's products before. So, of course, I'm going to buy it because I think there's a death hoax clue. And, of course, there is. Putting on my glasses. I'm going to read you out of this booklet that's inside of Come and Get It, the Rare Pearls, in which it says, in comparison, much has been made in contemporary times about the amount of volume of unreleased material from Tupac Shakur after his death. The Jackson 5's work ethic in this regard would have even surprised Shakur. And of course, we know that with Tupac, there was a death hoax. And that's what Peter was telling me, that there was a death hoax clue in there. But how did he know? So moving right along. Then I decided to do some research on the Rare Pearl cartoon. And guess when it aired? It aired January 15th, 1972. So we're like, oh my God, Peter called me on January 15th. The Rare Pearl cartoon first aired January 15th. And guess when the cartoon compilation, the DVD, was first released? Da-da-da-da, January 15th. So then we have all these dates that match January 15th with the Rare Pearl, with the cartoon, and now this is the best one. And then I thought, Michael doesn't own old Motown songs. And then I thought about it and I said, Universal bought Motown, so therefore Michael wouldn't have anything to do with that, but it was still a great idea with great compilations until recently. Well, the estate is suing the IRS because the IRS is saying that Michael Jackson owes $702 million, and of course there would have to be a 7 in there, for estate tax because it's the value of his estate during the time of his death, and the estate says one thing and the IRS says another thing, so they have to sort that all out. And did you notice the middle name discrepancy again in the lawsuit the estate filed against the IRS? It says Michael J. Jackson, not Michael Joe Jackson. It's all in the name, it's all in the game. But in that lawsuit, of course, there are documents, and it says that Michael owns a lot of the J5 master original compilations, a lot of their songs. So there you have it, guys. Michael does own the Jackson 5 master recordings. Well, this is Pearl Jr. for MichaelJacksonInsider.com, and I will see you next time. Thousands believed Tupac did it. Millions believed Elvis did it. But did Michael Jackson really do it? E-movie book, Pseudocide, Did Michael Jackson Fake His Death to Save His Life? By author Pearl Jr. It's the most shocking true story of our lifetime. Order yours today. Go to MichaelJacksonPseudocide.com. That's MichaelJacksonPseudocide.com.
Pearl, is that you? Are you with us?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Hi. Welcome back to King
Thank
Jordan
you.
Radio Show. Yes. Yes.
Hi, King Jordan. It's been a long time.
It sure has. It really has. And I was playing that cut, "I Am a Loser," which is an unreleased track. And I want. Did you ever get it?
There's a story to that.
There's a story to that. Why don't you go ahead and tell us? Okay.
Yes, there's a story to "I Am a Loser." During the AEG trial, now this is kind of long. People, if you introduced me, I believe Michael faked his death, and it's like we're in this little cubby hole of fans that are called believers, and Michael always leaves us clues. So in the AEG trial, a day or two right before Paul Gungaware and Randy Phillips got acquitted for personally being responsible in the wrongful death case, this song was released. And it was like Michael was telling us, I'm going to lose on purpose. I know I'm losing this case. I know this case is meant to be lost. And then this song came out. So there's a story to that.
Okay. And that's also when you weren't here, I played your latest video. You remember the title of that one?
A Rare Pearl?
A Rare Pearl and Peter Pan. That was, yes, right. I was going over that. I had that playing. So if you want to tell the audience what's going on with them latest videos, be my guest.
Well, you know, they saw the video, and if you watch the video on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/user/Pearl Jr., or go to michaeljacksoninsider.com, you can see all the proof, because I give you proof. I don't just say things and you hear the audio. I give you the visual matchup to it. And the weird thing to think for 1 second that Michael and I would be great friends and he would think so much of me to name an album with my name on it, and then to find out that that he owned that Motown, because I didn't know he owned the old Jackson 5 master recordings. I didn't know that. That document was released during the AEG trial. Oh, no, it wasn't an AEG trial. It is the estate is suing the IRS, because the IRS is saying that Michael owes over $700 million because they valued his image at $454 million, and then they overvalued some other things. And I don't know how they're going to value Michael's image and make pay taxes, $500 million in taxes on someone's image, because the death tax, which is so weird, the death tax is how much were you worth the day that you died, not after the promotion of the death, the da-da-da-da-da, not then, the day you died. And what's so weird is the next year, 2010, Barack Obama's administration got rid of the death tax. So if Michael would have faked his death 1 year later, he wouldn't have to be even faced with the estate tax. So, but that's going to be handled.
Right.
The estate tax will be handled.
Oh, okay. Very interesting.
So that's where that document came out, that Michael owned a lot of those Jackson 5 master recordings.
Right. And you also did a video with, to the callers that never heard Pearl Jr., of course, Pearl followed and covered the 2005 molestation trial of Michael Jackson, where he was fully acquitted on 14 counts of 14. They didn't get him on nothing. And you also released a documentary separately on that issue alone, right?
Yes, I released 2 documentaries. They're pretty much the same except for the bonus footage. One is called Behind the Scenes of the Michael Jackson Trial, and then we repackaged it and we released it a month or so after the death announcement, called Michael Jackson, The Trial and Triumph of the King of Pop. And it tells really the truth of why Michael was acquitted. And he was acquitted because there was just absolutely no evidence that he ever molested any child. So if anybody's interested in that, you can go to my website, michaeljacksoninsider.com.
Now, let's stay on that topic, because I haven't spoke to you since that boy from Australia, what's his name, Wade Robson.
Wade?
Yes, who you were right there, and he put his hands up and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help him God. And he said, right under oath, that nothing untoward ever happened. And back over the summer, he made a creditor's claim, which is a way to get money. And now he's alleging that Michael did things to him. What's your whole take on this situation?
Well, there's 2 legal standings, I'm going to say first, with a lot of dignity and being a respectful person as I try to be, is he's already passed the statute of limitations to file a creditor's claim for someone's death, number one, okay? That was 2 years after the death was made public. You had 2 years to file a claim. So that statute of limitations is over. And I believe there's a statute of limitations for child molestation for 7 years, okay? So, or 10 years. I think it's 10 for California. And he's passed that statute of limitations too. And why the courts are even listening to this is just beyond me, because he said on numerous interviews, he said under oath as a kid, he said under oath as an adult, that Michael never ever did anything sexual against on him, never did anything inappropriate. His mother also testified the same thing. I believe his sister also said the same thing. So Wade must be tired of working, you know what I mean? And he said, you know what Michael did, it ain't going to hurt him anyway. So I'm just going to say he did something to me, and I'm going to live rich the rest of my life.
Oh, boy, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if he did this quietly and didn't have some money, you know, people might actually believe him. But the fact that he does this, yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't believe him even if he did it quietly, because he had plenty of opportunities as a child and as an adult, okay?
Yeah,
and
he
even after Michael...
He co-wrote that book with Jermaine Jackson, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So he had plenty of opportunity to do this, and it shows how absolutely absurd the whole situation is, how people use Michael as a piggy bank. You know, that they're going to say he did something terrible, he did something awful, and get paid. And, you know, I know Johnny Cochran, rest in peace, you know, the settlement which the insurance paid back in '93, but that was one of the biggest mistakes that Michael could have done. But who would know that this would turn into such an ugly situation, you know? And, of course, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking, but at the time, Michael was going through some problems with pain medications. He was also touring. He was also going, you know, he had a lot of money riding on it, so I understand that he wanted it to go away. You know, and he had insurance that covered that at $20 million. He had insurance that when you're on tour, you're insured for everything. Okay, you're insured for everything, and that's why Michael was talked into paying that $20 million, because insurance helped pay that.
Oh, he didn't want to pay that originally, right? They talked him into it?
They talked Michael into it, but when you talk him into it, it'll go away. You can go and, you know, get your treatment that you want to get because of the scalp restructuring that they did. And once he said, okay, you know, everybody thought that now Michael's a bankrupt.
Oh, Pearl, before I forget, you know, this character named Stacy Brown wrote such a negative article today in the New York Post. Basically, he said that Catherine called Michael a homophobic name. He said that Jermaine also did, and that LaToya was really telling the truth. I mean, later on I'll send you the whole link today, but I was just,
I was reading that while I was at work, and I didn't get a chance to finish that. You know, and that's just hearsay.
I had Tom Mesereau on, as you know, and he said that he doesn't even consider Stacey Brown a journalist. So that's what he thinks of Stacey. But what do you think about that whole situation?
Well, Stacey, number one, is mean and he's revengeful. And for whatever reason, the only time that he gets serious press is when he says something terrible about the Jacksons. So he wants serious press, so he says something terrible about the Jackson. Maybe he was low on money this month, and he needed to do something. I mean, it's you know, Catherine calling her son something like that, you know, it's just headlines.
No, it's absurd. It's really absurd, and it's sad. You know, he was good with the family. Obviously, he leaked out stuff to the media, and then you have that. So it's just an awful situation for that to be going on right now. Okay, let's try some phone calls. 661, your turn. You're live with Pearl Jr. Good evening.
Hi. How's everyone doing today?
Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Hello, Peter Pan. PYT, welcome and thank you for joining us here on the King Jordan Radio Show.
So glad to be here.
Okay, let's try another caller. Let's go to 949. It's your turn.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
I'm just listening to the show. I know Pearl quite well. Haven't spoken to her in a long time. But just wanted to hear what had to be said.
Well, thank you for listening, and I'll put you on mute, and you can.
No question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go to unidentified number. You are next. It's your turn.
August 20th, Tom Mesereau was on the King Jordan show, and I asked him, what did he think of Pearl Jr.? And what do you think he said?
He said, I know what he said. He said, I know Pearl, we're friends, I really like Pearl a lot.
Right.
And he said, but he doesn't believe in the death hoax.
Exactly.
But Tom Mesereau also thought that Catherine was going to win this case. And Tom is my friend, and I like Tom a lot. But an opinion is an opinion.
That's
you know
all
what
it
I mean?
was. Just like I give my opinion, just like all the other people that give their opinion, and they're saying what I'm saying.
Right.
It's going to be a cold day in hell before you see Michael Jackson back on this side of the earth.
Oh, so at least we can wait for a cold day in hell? We got that to look forward to?
It's already happened, but not amongst us. It's in another atmosphere.
Well, you know, I know.
We beat that stick down to the pole long enough. Let me ask you some pertinent questions here. What did you get out of this A&E trial?
Well, and please don't interrupt because it's really good, okay? That trial was meant to be lost, okay? I never supported that trial. I hated myself because I wanted to support Catherine and the family so much, but I didn't believe in that trial. I didn't believe that AEG had anything to do with the wrongful death of Michael Jackson. If anything, I believe AEG is a part of Michael Jackson's death hoax. That's what I believe, okay? And because, number one, the insurance was never consummated. There was never any insurance paid on Michael Jackson. AEG did not secure any insurance. The morning of its 25th, the fax came in from Lloyd's of London that stated, we need Michael's medical records. Michael said, I ain't giving no medical records. So therefore, Michael knew that he was leaving, okay? Michael wrote on a note, hire Conrad exclusive. That was another thing that Michael did. It was a note that he had given. AEG, they never connected Propofol and AEG. Never connected Propofol and AEG, and they never connected Conrad Murray with AEG without the presence of Michael Jackson. Now, but there is one connection, not AEG, but AEG's friend, which is Tom Barat. Tom Barat owns property and was the mortgage holder of Conrad Murray's home in Las Vegas. Now, that's kind of crazy, right? But they never brought that out in court. And they never proved that AEG knew what was going on with Conrad Murray, what Conrad Murray was doing to Michael upstairs in his locked bedroom. And I just felt like the money, $1 billion, because they didn't run Conrad Murray's credit. You can't run people's credit when they're not handling money. Okay, they're not handling money.
Well, the only person that was standing to win this lawsuit was the mother, right?
And the children, right, exactly. They will win some money, but let me tell you something. It's double jeopardy. I believe if Michael faked his death, he had to have a verdict in the criminal court, and he had to have a verdict in the civil court.
You still believing that?
Oh, of course I do.
What? You're kidding me.
Of course I do. I think it's
okay,
wonderful.
right.
I do. You just don't know enough. You just don't know enough. That's all. You're not a part of our inner circle.
I know more in 3 months than I knew in 5 years.
Oh, well then, but that's still not enough.
That's all you need to know. It's getting in and getting out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm telling you, Michael Jackson is not dead.
Are there any major celebrities that go along with your stance and family members and stuff like that?
Well, Teddy Riley and Akon, they believe it, that Michael faked his death.
Yeah, I said credible people here.
You said celebrities. I don't know who you call credible and not credible, but it doesn't matter.
A person like yourself. How's that? A person like you.
You know what?
You know any people like that?
They could be Albert Einstein, but if Albert Einstein doesn't have access to the proper information, and there's a quote that says that anybody who has an opinion without proper research is the epitome of ignorance. Okay? Now, before you go, why is Michael's name still not on his grave? I mean, isn't that absurd?
Because he's not there.
That's right, because he's not there. That's exactly
there.
right. That's exactly right, because he's not
in
there.
A different location.
And why are all the death documents in the wrong name? Why are all the death documents in Michael Joseph Jackson when we know his name is Michael Joe Jackson? I mean, these are ABC 1, 2, 3. You know, this is it. You know, Michael plays the character Smooth Criminal. He plays the character Gilda, the guy who fakes his death as Smooth Criminal. There were 2 books published the day before on Goodreads.com and Amazon.com called The Mysterious Death of Michael Jackson. I mean, come on.
Would you go on hypnosis and clear this up with yourself here?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I still work. I still pay my bills. I'm together. I'm a happy person. My life is in good shape.
Did you go to the trial every day?
Not every day. I went about 25 times, though. You know, I did go a lot of days. And then Paul Gungaware, the co-CEO of AEG, check this out.
Yeah.
He worked for Elvis, the Colonel, when Elvis died. So that's why Michael did, just like Lisa Marie said. Lisa Marie said, play after play was exactly like my father's. And Paul Gungaware, the co-CEO of AEG Live, he worked with Elvis during Elvis's death. This is all planned. I'm telling you guys. It's all planned.
When is the movie coming out?
You know, Peter Pan and I are planning. Oh, can I tell Peter?
Yes.
Peter, are you there?
You have a movie?
Peter? Well, I might do another documentary. You got to see the documentary Alive, Is Michael Jackson Really Dead?
Will you get?
Okay, so see that one.
Will you be
okay,
having? Will you be having famed attorney Tom Mesereau involved with this?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want Tom Mesereau to be involved because Tom Mesereau is such a reputable guy. I wouldn't want him to put his reputation at stake for me. But Tom Mesereau read my book, Suicide. Yes, he did. And Tom and I are friends. I have utmost respect for Tom.
And that's what he says about you. He said it right here on the King Jordan Show.
That's
he actually said it.
That's right. I know he did. Yeah, but everybody has an opinion. You know, Tom's opinion was that Catherine was going to win. But that didn't happen. So people's opinions sometimes are wrong.
Yeah,
you know,
I see how he's going to win that one.
Well, my opinion has been right.
And then you got the whole family there looking to get the money off of her so they can go buy cars and not pay their wives and children and all kinds of weird stuff.
Well, so what? You know, I mean, people get money, they spend it whichever way they
No, but they're getting it off the mother. It wasn't given to them.
But you don't know what Catherine's going to do with the money. You can't.
She gives it to her children.
And
that's what most mothers do.
Those are her kids. You think she's not supposed to love all her children?
She can do anything she wants with that money, but these kids, you know, they can't stand the children. What?
Michael wasn't her only kid. She had 9 kids.
Yeah, but he's the only one that makes that kind of money like that. So now they gotta hope that Mama Catherine can say, hey, take care of the kids. shouldn't be that way.
Oh, so what? That's family. I mean, why do people want to be talking about the family like she ain't supposed to love her other kids and worry about her other kids?
Because they're
I
still
can't
around.
believe people. If she loves all her children, not just Michael. Okay.
Yeah, but not to the
all her children.
Their wild cars and the wild women
So
and
what?
who knows what else.
What's that got to do with you? What's that got to do with you? That's
with
so
me?
if Jermaine drives a Ferrari, so what? That's Jermaine's business.
That's above the board. First, he wants to go get a car instead of paying for his kids and stuff like that. Come on.
Well, he paid for his kids. He
No,
paid
he
for
didn't.
his kids.
No, he
Yeah,
didn't
he
pay.
did. He caught up on child support.
I don't want you to mention no names, but he stiffed somebody when it came to that.
Well, you know, I'm not here to bash the Jackson.
Well, I'm not either, but I just put us in another slant on the road here. But we can get off that topic. But that's what they do.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
what
you.
these people do.
But don't be mad at Catherine for loving all her children, okay, and wanting to see them do well.
As
okay?
I love
Don't
all
do
my
that.
kids as well, the same way. I always
Me
want the
too.
best for them. I don't want them to see them hurt or anything like that. So
Okay,
if they got a good magistrate there to guide them, because they are so misguided, these people. One is trying to get more from mom and do this, and I guess that's how kids are.
Well, they're still working. Those boys have been touring all over the world for 2 years, you know, and they're all over 55 years old, okay? So
Even Daddy Jackson.
What?
Give me some money, baby. We
But let
tight.
me tell you, Daddy Jackson is
so
the
he can go
reason
downtown
why.
to the casinos and stuff like that.
But without Daddy Jackson, none of this would exist, and we wouldn't have had decades of enjoyable music from those Jacksons if
He
Daddy
probably got a
Jackson
wife
didn't.
with 5 more kids behind that.
So what? That's his business.
That's life.
But I know one thing that Joe did. He brought us wonderful entertainment. He brought Michael. Michael gave money to all kinds of charities because of what Joe put in the work to make sure his boys were successful. And one thing you have never heard, let me say this, one thing you have never heard, those were kid stars. They had a lot of money. You have never heard one report where Joe and Catherine stole 1 penny of those children's money.
They didn't have to.
You know?
They didn't have to.
Well, that's not an answer.
Why
If
would they have to?
if he's so despicable, he should have been stole some money
No,
from his kids, but
he
never
just looks
did.
out for himself too. He promotes other people, not just the family. He has other adventures, other scouts out there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought you might be one of them at first.
No, I'm not. I'm not with Joe Jackson.
Why? What did he do?
No, I'm cool. Joe's cool, but I'm not one of his acts or anything. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not one of his acts. All right.
Okay.
Mark, I'm signing off. It's been a pleasure once again. You got to come back a little bit sooner.
All right, then. Nice hearing from you. Your name is Mark, right?
How can you ever forget?
I know. I didn't forget. Isn't that something? I didn't forget.
I've been trying to look for you at the court cases, but every time I go in one door, you go out the other.
Well, I'm
There you
around.
go.
I haven't left.
That's what
I'm
they
not
say.
abandoning Michael.
Okay, thanks for the call,
Pearl
Mark.
Jr.,
Okay, Pearl, I got some questions from Luna Joe, but
Luna Joe, yes.
Yes, wonderful girl. I want to play first Justin Bieber duet with Michael, and then we'll come back on the other side, and I'll give you those questions.
Okay, sounds great.
A Slave to the Rhythm, Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson duet, unreleased song. I like that song. What about you, Pearl?
Oh, of course. I love that song, too. You know,
Not
the
really
funny thing about it is...
I was going to say I'm not really a Bieber fan, but that song, they mixed it up really smooth.
Yeah, they did. And the state did not sanction that song, so the estate is like, look, that was done without me. And I just think it's a testament to Justin Bieber's love for Michael, how he went out of his way. And who knows, maybe Michael's hanging with Justin Bieber right now. Who knows? It sounds so absurd. But knowing the information that I know, it's so reasonable and so logical to me, because Justin Bieber was at the I'll Be There event 2 years ago in January. And
Robson, I believe, right?
And he sang Rockin' Robin. And that has to do with the death hoax clue, because that's when I first met Peter, and Peter did the hot chocolate video, and he posted the whole hot chocolate. And then, remember Rockin' Robin, tweet, and that's where everything went down on Twitter. Oh, my God. And then with the Bad 25 with Justin Bieber again, we had the Bad 25 Spike Lee's documentary, and right after they did the death announcement, Justin Bieber's Macy's commercial was Wink, Nod, Smile, and Peter and I had a video called Wink, Wink, Nod, Nod. So Justin Bieber, if you're in the know, it makes perfect sense. But if you're not in the know and you're just listening and you're just picking it up out of the blue, it sounds absurd.
And that Macy's commercial, right? That was
the Macy's commercial. That was a death hoax clue for us, yes.
Okay, of course, Luna Joe, you could catch her videos. What did happen on June 25th, and what did happen to Michael Jackson? A deep look into the 2005 trial. Check it out on YouTube. But she has some great questions for you, and here we go. Question number 1. What is your opinion about Paris's deposition where she talked about Nanny Grace, can't pronounce the last name.
Rwanda.
That's it, right.
Oh, what's my opinion of that? You know what's so weird about that? AEG gave me, like, the exclusive for, like, 3 hours on the Paris deposition. They sent it to me, you know, early on in the trial, and all the other media people were upset that I got it, and then Peter called TMZ, and when Peter called TMZ decided to use my video and post it on their website. It was just incredible. But what did I think of it? Well, Paris is a very gregarious, very bubbly, full of personality type of teenager. And, you know, she wants to grow up a little fast, but, you know, hey, a lot of us wanted to grow up fast when we were teenagers. And she basically said that Grace would tell people that they were married, and I had known that Grace snuck in the bed and Michael and her had sex. Oh, no, I'm sorry I said that. But, you know, since there's so many child molestation claims and Michael's gay claims, I think it's appropriate under the circumstance to tell that story. But
yes.
What Paris was saying is that Michael ended up not trusting Grace, and that he didn't have the heart to just tell her, don't come back, you know. And she kept coming back even when he fired her because she didn't have any money. But Paris is cracking jokes at her father's wrongful death deposition. And then there were 2 other parts of Paris's deposition where they played about world tour. And Paris is yawning. Oh, my God, she's yawning. So, you know, maybe that's why they didn't want Paris to testify, because she's too gregarious or she's just not interested, one or the other.
Interesting indeed. This one is a deep question, but let's give it a shot. Here we go. Are you somehow prepared for when and if the time comes, it may be clear that Michael Jackson did in fact die? Maybe when there is some proof, because this has been a big part of your life, and you have many fans and followers and fans.
I go through that a few times a week. You know what I mean? Am I imagining things? Is he really dead? Is he alive? Oh my God. You know, so it's a constant for me, you know, battling with my common sense and with really the facts of what's going on. And when the time comes, the time will just hit me. You know, I'm not going to give any more dates because I was supposed to be quitting after Michael's birthday. Okay, I was going to be done. I was going to be finished. I was going to be done. And then these magnificent things happen, and Peter does something great, and then somebody else does something, and then I'm back to being back to Michaeling. So, you know, I think if I ever quit the death hoax, I don't think I would warn fans, and I would not be a player hater, which means I would not say, everybody, you know, stop believing like a lot of people do. When they stop believing, they become badgers. They become bullies. Like, it's not true, and they turn on you, and they hate you, and they say bad things, and they look for terrible things to misconstrue about you. And I'm not going to do any of that stuff. If I ever decide that, you know, I'm done with the death hoax, I'll still have all the clues, and I'll still have the adventure that Michael gave us, and I'll still have all the love and fun that we and the fans had finding clues. So it's not wasted time because I maintained a job. I still have my house. I still have my mortgage. I still have my family. You know, so nothing, I haven't lost anything. I just gained a really wonderful, fun adventure, and I made some friends on the way.
And as we sit here today, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is your belief, with 10 being the highest?
A 9.8.
Oh, okay. That's pretty high.
No, you can't undo the clues. You can't undo them. You know, they are what they are. They will exist forever. You know, you can't undo, you know, there's no name on the grave. They can put a name on the grave, but, you know, so what? They can't undo, well, they could change the names on the death. You know what? If the Jacksons really wanted me to stop believing or stop saying that Michael's dead, they can put a name on the grave. They can change all the death documents to his real name, Michael Joe Jackson, and they can explain some more situations that have happened. Why was there a book published the day before, and then we have the whole World Weekly News thing that I'm going to be putting a video on, and then explain the Michael album where it says, I live on the lips. You know, there's some things that have to be answered. There's some questions that have to be answered. And there's about 1,000 more very, very strong clues. So, you know, I'm still very much believing that Michael's alive because we did not create these clues to keep us here with him 4+ years later.
Absolutely. What do you know about the other chef that was at Carolwood in May of 2009 when Kai Chase was fired?
The other chef? Oh, I don't know much about him. He's a black guy. I know that. And he was a male. And that's about it. He didn't get involved whatsoever. He never testified in either court case, but Kai did. But this guy was the chef for a whole month, but they never asked him his opinion. And Kai was missing the whole month of May. So I don't know why that guy did not testify ever.
Interesting. Okay, she also asked Luna, are there things that you once believed to be true, such as a clue, which you now actually think is bogus?
Let's see. No, because if I thought something was bogus, I would fix it right away. I would, you know, put a statement out, or I would change it in the e-movie book because it's an electronic book and I can do that. Alive is still 100% accurate. The Suicide book is still 100% accurate. The only thing that people are kind of confused about is who is Peter Pan, P-Y-T, and who is Sulfur Go from Ashes. Those are the big two questions, and a lot of people say there's no way Peter Pan is Bobby Anderson, you know. And he could be Bobby Anderson, and Sulfur Go from Ashes could be Pablo Ferragamo. That is very, very true. But there's a whole story and there's a whole list of clues that go to tell us that maybe so, maybe not. And maybe Michael confuses us on purpose because if it's ever found out that he is impersonating somebody that YouTube thinks is dead or Facebook thinks is dead or Twitter thinks is dead, he'll lose his account. So I think on purpose he throws us off so that, you know, he's not ever really found out. But I do have, you know, there's a big question that I said I was going to answer today, but we'll save that until later, okay?
Okay, sure. This is a great question, also from Luna Joe. What is your most convincing clue that you found out in the last 4 years, one that you may be in fact convinced a non-believer?
Okay. World Weekly News. I'm going to do a video about it, and I put it in a video, and if you go on my MichaelJacksonInsider.com page, it's one video, and it's about, let's see, Earth Song, and I think it has to do with, it says best clue ever. Well, or maybe it was the Oz. It's a video about Oz, the Great and Powerful. It's one of those videos. Well, anyway, let me tell you the clue. On March 29th, 1994, there was an article published in World Weekly News that said Michael Jackson plans to fake his death. Okay, got that? Right. 1994. Then we fast forward to June 20th, 2009. 5 days before the death announcement, that article was republished. Michael Jackson plans to fake his death, right? 5 days before, published. Then, on June 25th, 2009, the day that Michael Jackson supposedly died, the new article that said Michael Jackson faked his death. Oh, my God, okay? On that very day. Then you go to the Michael album, and you will see an excerpt of World Weekly News right there on the album cover. Bam. You can't get too much clearer than that. You can't get too much clearer than that. And then on the album it says, I live. And then in heaven, there's an empty chair without him in there. And then him and an angel has her wings wrapped around him, and they're sitting on earth. And that's saying that Michael is here on earth with angels watching over him, and he's not in heaven because his red royal chair is empty.
I would think maybe also a very big clue is the non-name on the grave.
That's huge. That's huge. But I already mentioned those. But yes, no name on the grave, the death documents and all the wrong names. No one has ever confirmed through DNA. Oh, Catherine never saw the dead body also. Never confirmed through DNA that it was Michael Joe Jackson's body. Neither does the fingerprints ever come back, because I listened to every word of the Conrad Murray trial and the preliminary, and I was waiting for confirmation from the FBI or from any lab that said that they have matched the fingerprints and the DNA, and they never, ever did. Oh,
wow. That's pretty huge.
Yep. That's pretty huge. I could go on and on and on.
And of course, Luna Joe sends her love to you, and she says keep up the great work.
Thank you, and you do the same too, Luna.
Okay, so there you go. Of course, what did happen to Michael Jackson, and what did happen on June 25th, and what did happen on after the trial? Follow Luna Joe there with those videos. Okay, you have some more information to tell us you wanted to. Let's take a little break. Let's please to Michael Jackson. And on the other side, can you start to tell us what you were going to tell us before?
Yes, I will tell you. I think I've figured out why Michael Jackson faked his death. Oh, my God. We've heard many theories, and those theories are still good, but, hey, I got a good one.
Okay, so you finally came out the real answer for the king of pop, Michael Joe Jackson faked his death. We'll find out that right after this song. 2,000 watts.
You may now apply. Your 3D glasses. 3D. As we proceed. Prepare for proceed.
Michael Jackson 2,000 watts, courtesy of the Invincible album that came out in 2001, which was one of your clues, Pearl, right?
Yes.
Okay, getting back to your statement that you wanted to say. And before we do that, let's tell the folks about the DVDs, the website, and everything. Let's give yourself the plug there.
Okay, the documentary is called Alive, Did Michael Jackson... Alive as Michael Jackson Really Did. And that's available on DVD on Amazon. It was on Netflix, but it ran its 2 years and it's off now. So if anybody's interested, please contact Netflix and ask them to put it back on. Alive as Michael Jackson Really Did. It had more ratings than any other musical documentary on there. So,
really?
They should put it back on. Oh, yeah, it had more ratings than any other musical documentary on any other musical star. Right. And also my website is called MichaelJacksonInsider.com.
Michael
and
Jackson
my e-movie book.
Yes, the e-movie book.
Yes, my e-movie book is also on there. It's called Pseudocide. That starts with the Pseudocide. Pseudocide. Did Michael Jackson fake his death to save his life? And that's very pertinent to what I'm getting ready to say. And that's also, you can find information on that on my website on MichaelJacksonInsider.com as well.
And, of course, you are at Pearl Jr. on Twitter. And that's the story. At Facebook, you are Pearl Jr., right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Peter, anything you want to say? I see we still have you here. Okay. Anyway.
Peter, are you there?
Yes, Pearl?
Yes, you're there. You're there.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Really? Question for me?
Yeah, I have a question for you. You know that the Pearly 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 and the Rare Pearl and Michael owning the Jackson 5, so he could have easily made that album because he was in control of the distribution of some of the Jackson 5 original master recordings from Motown. So, if I was to ask you, how did that get done? Do you know how that happened?
What do you mean, how did it get done? Was the deal or the footage or?
No, how did that album get called A Rare Pearl?
How did the album get called A Rare Pearl? Oh, I can't say right now.
You can't say right now?
No, not right now. Maybe at a later time.
Oh, yeah, you're going to tell me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to hold you to that, okay? Of course. Now, what do you have to say about the claims that you're Bobby Anderson?
Well, I have many claims of people saying a lot of different things about me. From Barry Shaw to Dave, Dom from the UK, so I hear something new every day. You know, that I'm this person, that person. You know, people always make up stuff. And I just let it go. You can run with it. You know, it's nothing that is out of my hands.
So are you going to tell us who you really are tonight?
Who am I? Okay. I'm Peter Pan. That's who I'm really am.
You're Peter Pan, PYT?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Okay. Okay. So the mystery continues. Can you say that you're not Bobby Anderson?
I'm not Bobby.
Wait. Say that again.
I'm not Bob Anderson.
You're not Bob Anderson. Okay, fans, whoever's out there, he just told you he is not Bob Anderson. Okay, so the beat goes on.
The beat goes on indeed. Maybe on the next telecast, they'll reveal some more stuff that you want.
Do you have any thoughts of what's going to happen when Conrad Murray's released? Oh, let me say this before you answer that, Peter. People that are non-believers, how is Conrad Murray's release date on the same day as the release of This Is It 4 years ago? I mean, it's just incredibly crazy. I mean, the exact date that Conrad Murray, October 28th, is supposed to be released, released. Even Katherine Jackson said on the stand, under oath, I'm there, I'm listening to her, I see it come out of her mouth. They asked her, well, you know Conrad Murray's in jail. She said, I don't know that. And then the attorney said, what? What do you mean? She said, I have no proof that Conrad Murray's in jail. Katherine Jackson said that on the stand.
Really?
Okay. Yes, she did. Oh, yes, she did say that on the stand. Okay. So, everybody that's out there, you heard Peter Pan PYT say he is not Bobby Anderson. Okay.
Well,
so we move on.
Also, I had called Conrad Murray. You know, I had called the county. They said I can talk to him. Then they don't know, they came up with all kind of hooplas, to where he's really located.
Oh, so first they said they would put you through to Conrad Murray, and then they did not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then remember when we put in a visitors online to visit Conrad Murray, and it was automatically rejected back, denied, within seconds?
Yeah, well, we had called first, and he said, yeah, he can have visitors. And we went
that's
online
because we're talking to a clerk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then we went on there and filled out the application. It was all denied from
Right. That's exactly right.
Well, one thing is for sure. The believers are going to be upset that day, that 4 years ago that movie came out. They were upset. They were happy that day because they got to see MJ on the screen. But just 2 years, if you believe that way, a man is getting for killing the most famous person in the world, allegedly.
In the stupidest way possible. So it's just absurd, that you would put a man under anesthesia and you wouldn't be monitoring his heart or his breathing. It's just absurd to me. And you know what's so weird about it? I used to hang out in front of Carrollwood because I knew Linda, the mask lady who sells masks there, and she had been selling masks there for 10 years before Michael even moved there, and she was a fan that I had met at the 2005 trial. Imagine that coincidence, but it's true. And the fans, I would always go out there and I asked the fans what's going on with Michael. They did not tell me a doctor was spending the night until the day before the death announcement on June 24th. Then, for the first time, is when I saw Conrad Murray's car come out of Carrollwood on June 24th. So I don't know how much of this is a game and how much is real and how much isn't, okay? Because for me not knowing and Linda not knowing, and she's there every day, she didn't tell me that she saw that BMW come in and out every day, and she was there. Conrad Murray didn't leave until after she was on shift selling her masks. So there you have it, folks. Okay, now.
Yes.
Oh, so Peter, one more question for Peter. So what do you think is going to happen on June 28th? Do you think anything's going to happen that day?
What is going wow, you got me tongue twisted. What do I think going to happen? I think that, Conrad Murray may say a few words and he's going to try to disappear for a little bit.
That's what you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Or is he going to drop drop the big, gigantic, seismic level bombshell that Michael's not dead.
Oh my.
Now that would be good. That would be really, really good.
Unbelievable. If that happens, then, oh my.
Well, let's put it this way. You haven't seen nothing yet.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So now can I explain why? Because I have to go soon. What time are we over, Jordan?
Okay, we have another 10 minutes.
Okay, great. Now I can tell you why I think Michael faked his death, okay? Michael Jackson is the most sued individual on the planet Earth. No one has been sued in court more than Michael Jackson has. And I believe that Michael had planned to fake his death during the Invincible era, 2000, the year 2000, 2001, because he would have been the same age as Elvis, because the album cover looks like a ghost, because of songs like Heaven Can Wait, which means I'm not dead, you think I'm dead, I'm not in heaven yet, Heaven Can Wait for me. Also the song Unbreakable, the name of the album's Invincible. There's one that talks about the living dead, Threaten talks about the living dead. And also, like I said, he was going to be the same age as Elvis at that time. He was going to be turning, Elvis was what, 43 or 44, one of the dates. But Michael would have been the same age as Elvis did. And also Michael Jackson Live, that matches AEG Live, that matches LA Live, which is owned by Antel's Entertainment Group, AEG, was registered March 12th, which is Mark Jackson's birthday as well as my sister Pam's birthday, to the year 2000. And then when that was registered the year 2000, that lets me know that there was a plan that AEG and Michael had, and Paul Gungaware has ties to Michael Jackson going back to the Dangerous Tour. Paul Gungaware of AEG Live has ties that go back to Elvis. Now, there's a few more things, and also during that time in 2000, 2001, Michael and John Bronco were on good terms. So I believe that Michael had John Bronco find the loopholes in the law in which he could fake his death and not go to jail. And one of the three main things that you can't do when you fake your death, you cannot, well, there's four, but I'm going to name all four. One of the main things you can't do, you can't collect any insurance. No death insurance can be paid out. So that's checked. That's never happened in the death of Michael Jackson, which is absurd because just him showing up somewhere is money, okay? Number two, you can't run from your debts, and we all know that Michael Jackson paid all his debts, and right now his estate is in the black, which means it's making money, it's profitable. And then number three, you can't run from the law. We know that the law was not looking for Michael. Now, the fourth thing that you can't do, which Peter brought up to me, which I thought was really smart, you cannot call in your own death. You can call and say, hey, police, my plane crashed, and I'm dead. You can't do that. And you can't, like with the balloon boy. His parents got in trouble because his parents made that phone call, and they were a part of filing a fraudulent police report. Michael never did that. Michael never called the cops and said, hey, I'm dead or I'm dying. Michael never called 411. Michael Jackson didn't choose to bring charges up against Conrad Murray. Michael Jackson didn't choose to have AEG Live lawsuit. Now, those things were not brought on by Michael Jackson. Now, what I want to say, the reason why I think Michael faked his death, because I believe that Michael wanted to stop being sued. That 2005 trial, I think, scared the living daylights out of him, that he could have spent 20 years in jail over somebody's lives, over a vicious, greedy person's lives. And if Michael, there was an article that came out at the end of September about an Ohio man that disappeared, and he decided to come back to life, And now, it's not against the law to disappear. Anybody can disappear. That's not illegal. You can just fall off the face of the earth and say, you know what, I'm not participating in society anymore. And you may do that, okay? But you can't commit a crime in the process of disappearing, okay? Now, with this Ohio man, the wife the mother of his children needed to collect Social Security for her children. So she went through the FBI, she went through the police, she went through a private investigator. She did everything that she could to say that there's no activity. This man is dead. So after 8 years after he disappeared, she had him declared by law, by the courts, dead. Okay? In 2005, he decided to resurface in 2005. When he resurfaced in 2005, people were like, oh, my God, you're alive. You know your wife has claimed you dead. The law thinks you're dead. Well, for a minute, he was okay with it. Then he decided, you know what, I want a driver's license. And you know what else? I get Social Security. I want Social Security. So he went to the courthouse, and he tried to get reinstated to be living. But the judge denied him and said, in the eyes of the law, you are dead. Now, in the eyes of the law, he's dead because there's only a 3-year reversal to a death announcement in the state of Ohio. In the state of California, I'm not sure, but I know it's a state law. So every state has a statute of limitations in which you can reinstate yourself and say that the death was a mistake, that you're really alive. But if you pass that statute of limitations, oh, my God, I don't know what can happen. So I believe that Michael wanted to fake his death so that he would not be sued anymore, he wouldn't be held liable anymore, people couldn't touch him anymore, that he was just now no longer Michael Joseph Jackson, the recording artist, and now he's just the individual Michael Joe Jackson. And that's why I believe that Michael faked his death to stop all the lawsuits. And you can't stop the accusations, but even if Wade Robson, if the statute of limitations came out and Michael said, I'm back, and Wade Robson still had the claim, he couldn't do anything if Michael was still declared legally dead. There you go.
Did you hear that he has a hearing next June?
2nd. June 2nd. And when I called the courthouse, I called Judge Mitchell Beckloff's office twice. Okay, twice I called. And they're like, sorry, the minutes aren't in there. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's a trial or if it's a hearing date. I'm not sure. Call me back in a few days. Well, I called back in a few days, and she gave me some case numbers, but she still couldn't give me any information on if there was a court date, a trial date, or anything like that. I don't know if she was an incompetent clerk. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that there's confusion surrounding the Wade Robson case. There were three case numbers that she gave me, and none of them are on the LA Superior Court website. You can't find any information on them. So back to even this isn't simple.
Yes,
yep.
Yes. It's terrible, though, when they have this, they won't even give him the dignity of saying his name, but there's some scum out there making up videos and Facebook, and, you know, he's tweeting a lot of celebrities, and Corey Feldman told him to take a hike, you know.
And then Lisa Marie was hacked.
And Lisa Marie was hacked, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I won't give him the dignity of saying who he is, but that individual, you know, I don't care what happened to you in your own personal life, that doesn't give you the right to go around harassing people, and that's what you're doing. And
yep.
I suggest you stop, or the Michael Jackson fans will eventually catch you, and it won't be, I don't encourage violence, but, you know, you are saying some terrible, terrible things. And, you know, being labeled as a pedophile, and I know you sat through the case. I spoke to Mesereau. We all know that Michael was not a pedophile. There would have been thousands of victims if that was the case. A pedophile is like someone, as I read, is like a junkie. They can't stop. And
absolutely,
my evidence, along with speaking to, you know, all these people. I mean, his manager said he'd go under oath during the Life of an Icon movie. Frank, Is it Frank Cascio or
Frank
Frank DeLeo?
Oh, Cascio. Well, Frank DeLeo was Michael's manager. He's no longer with us. He died. Frank Cascio's a guy in his 20s that's Michael's friend. You know, from the Cascio family with the Michael album. Was it Michael's voice? Wasn't it Michael's voice? That's Frank Cascio.
Yeah, and Aphrodite Jones wrote the book. She said there were all the kids lying, and she saw the tapes. I mean, the jurors, were they all lying? Is everybody lying? I mean, that's what you really got to say to yourself for all these schmucks who think, you know, what you see on
FBI.
TV.
The FBI researched Michael for 13 years, and it's so stupid when they say the FBI files. Those were accusations that the FBI could never substantiate. You know, they were accusations. And if the FBI thought Michael was guilty, why didn't they arrest him? And why didn't they join in on the Tom Sneddon case? Because they had nothing on him. The FBI refused to prosecute Michael Jackson.
No, one thing you do a great job in that video is vindicate Michael, and you were there, you know, you and William Wagner set shop up over there by the courthouse pretty much every day, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I have the B. Howard interview. Would you mind if I played a little bit of it, and then I want to get your, because I found this very interesting, and he looks so much like Michael. But in any event,
I know, isn't it crazy? Yes, you can play a bit of it. Yes, you may.
Okay, let me play a little segment of that, and then we'll come back, and then I want you to tell me about that, and then we'll wrap the session up.
Okay.
Suicide. Did Michael Jackson fake his death to save his life? Elbow Grease Productions, in association with MichaelJacksonInsider.com, presents So, B. Howard, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Now, I know you're an international singing sensation, right? So tell me how you got into singing. I know your background. You are the son of Mickey Howard. Love Under New Management.
Yeah.
That was the sister anthem. Like, things gonna be changing around here. So tell me how old you were when you first started singing.
Well, I first started singing and stuff. Everything pretty much was like around, like when I was 3 or 4. And I like bang on the drums like when my mother's shoe boxes, like, you know, with that. And I'd like hear sounds and everything, and I'd sing it, and you know, it's like that for a long time.
Now, also caravans, isn't that?
Oh yeah, that's my grandma.
That's your grandma.
Yeah.
So you come from a singing tradition.
Oh yeah, all the way, all the way.
All the way. And now you are embarking on a solo career. And you've launched it in Asia.
Yes, it was first place.
And you just got back from an Asian tour.
Yeah, I actually got recently I got back from Hong Kong actually.
And how was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I did my shows and everything like that, and you know they gave me a helicopter to to go around and check things out. It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
So did you perform?
Yeah, I performed. You know, it was just like everybody was like so polite over there, and they're like really cool, and it was different because Japan everybody speaks Japanese and everything, but they speak a few English. In Hong Kong, they speak a language, but they speak English. And when you're around, if they don't know that you speak Hong Kong or Mandarin or anything like that, or Cantonese, they will speak English even to each other.
Oh, it's just polite.
Like so polite. It is.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it there. It was really nice. Yeah.
So now you're embarking on launching your career here in America, back home.
Yeah, coming back home.
And you have a smash new hit that's on iTunes.
Yeah, it's on iTunes.
Called?
It's called Dance Floor.
And tell me about that.
Dance Floor is like, it was a great piece that we put together with myself, Sidney Miller, and, Chris Love on the drums, James Poyser, those guys are from the Roots, and Benjamin Wright, who was actually, a string arranger for all of Thriller and all of, like Justin Timberlake for Christina Aguilera. He's like off the charts. He's from Disney. I've known him since I was a kid. Like, I was just so happy to put this together. It was great. It was great.
Now, when I saw your video, I was so excited. It brought back that Michael Jackson excitement for being,
Okay, that was Pearl Jr. interviewing B. Howard. Pearl, he looks so much like Michael Jackson. I encourage all our listeners to check out that on your YouTube channel. B. Howard, Pearl Jr. interview with B. Howard. Tell me about that interview and how that all got started.
Well, there was an email that came out that he was really getting so many views on his song Dance Floor. And I sent an email back and I said, it was a media blitz. And I sent an email back saying, I think he's great. Tell Michael's son I said hi. And the girl emailed back and she said, would you like to interview him? And I said, yeah. But I had no idea, I didn't tell anyone that I was going to interview B. Howard because if it didn't happen, I would feel bad and I would feel like a flake and I promised something that didn't happen, so I didn't tell anybody. The funny thing is that Peter Pan PYT had contacted me before we became friends, and he had said something like, thank you for doing the interview. And I was like, how did he know that I was doing an interview, with B. Howard, which I thought was just crazy because I didn't tell anyone. So anyway, so the interview came to be, and not only does B. Howard look like Michael, talk like Michael, you guys all heard Michael's voice. He sings like Michael. He is the exact same body shape as Michael. He's thin, he's skinny, and he's taller. He's a little bit taller than Michael. And to let you guys know what else couples with that, Mickey Howard, his mother, who's a singer, she lived at Havenhurst during that time, and Joe Jackson was her manager, and it was right around the time between Off the Wall and Thriller. And if you listen to two songs on Thriller, they both talk about having a baby. Want to be starting something. If you can't have the baby, if you can't feed the baby, don't have the baby. So he had babies on his mind. And then Billie Jean, with his son, his eyes look just like mine, and he's next to 3. And when Billie Jean came out, or when Michael was writing Billie Jean, Brandon was 2 years old, and the name Brandon Howard, before Marlon Jackson had sons, Marlon's twin, Michael's brother Marlon's twin's name was Brandon. So, I mean, it just so much matches in there that tells you that Brandon Howard's Michael's son, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows the truth? But I just put all those pieces together, and they fit kind of nicely to me.
Amazing, though. The looks. They also had somebody that was at the funeral, that one in Staples Center. What was his name? They thought he was Michael's son.
Omar Batty, who's not Michael's son. Omar's really, really short. Michael met Omar when he was 12 years old. And he's a great dancer, and Omar's a great talent. He's a great talent. And Michael and Omar were really, really good friends, hangout buddies, and, kids don't ask hard questions. Kids aren't always looking for a business, a way to get Michael sucked into some kind of business, and that's why Michael hung around kids. It was just easier that way, and Omar, in Frank Cassio's book, Frank Cassio admits that Omar is not Michael's son, and, but he was close, and he was like a son to Michael.
Yeah. It's a lot of people say these things about MJ without even going over the facts. That's what's wrong with the whole situation, you know.
Yep. I would totally agree.
Yeah. But I want to thank.
Still there? Is Peter still there?
I don't think he's with us.
Okay.
I don't think he's with us. But I want to thank you for coming back here. You're at Pearl Jr., of course. And any more books or any DVDs coming out or anything like that?
Well, I might be considering doing another documentary. I want to do another documentary. It's just that I have to afford to be able to do it. People think that, you know, I got money to do things and it's just supposed to fall out the sky, you know.
Right.
So I'm trying to find a way to where I don't have to work and I could really dedicate myself to doing another documentary. But right now, with my job taking so much of my time, I don't know how I can do it and how I can afford to take off without losing my house. So
yeah.
I have to work. Yeah, but I'm trying, guys. I do want to put out another documentary. I am trying. Okay?
In fact, you had to come on late today because you were at work, right?
Absolutely. I was at work, yes.
Well, you were here 1 year ago today also. So
oh,
I want
it's our anniversary.
The anniversary, yeah. And it was wonderful. And this one was also wonderful. So
well,
thank you
so much.
And I hope we do get to see the King of Pop. There'll be nothing greater than that.
Nothing greater than that. That's exactly right. Okay. Well, thank you, King Jordan, and thank you, and happy anniversary. And I've really enjoyed each and every one of our radio interviews. Do you know how many we did?
Oh, this is number 6.
Number 6. Okay. Hopefully, like Mark said, Mark was much nicer this time. And like Mark said, he was much nicer. And like he said, we got to do it more often than waiting all this time, okay? So maybe we can do something right after the Conrad Murray release.
That's a good idea. I'll be in touch with you. And everybody stay in touch with Pearl. And we'll see what I do with John right after the Murray release.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Thank you, fans. I love you guys. And keep Michaeling. And keep Michaeling.
Your famous quote. Yes. Okay.
Okay, good night. Good night.
Good night. And, of course, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be WWE Wrestle Talk. Of course, if you'd like to follow me at King Jordan, at Mr. King Jordan, and Facebook me at King Jordan Radio. Let me leave you with They Don't Care About Us, and we will talk to you on the other side next time tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody.